together. And we joined hands as the founding members of the United Democratic Alliance, UDA, that together with the other partner parties in Kenya Kwanza that moved on to form government this year, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, the only member of parliament, Honorable Speaker, that I can proudly say is my friend and a friend to my family. Honorable Speaker, when we were in the dungeons and suffering immensely under the previous regime, I remember one time, accompanied by my two daughters, I drove to Honorable Duale's house. And the following day, he called my wife and he told me, because there's a lot of extrajudicial killings in this country, should anything happen to your husband, rest assured, Mami, your children will be well taken care of by Aden Duale and William Ruto. Support your husband in this fight, and we pray for him. And I know the Honorable Aden Duale and his wife on many occasions would call me late in the night. At one point, he used to sleep at 10 p.m., but eventually we transitioned him to start sleeping at midnight and after midnight. Now he's taking over a job where he will never sleep. Honorable Duale, be ready not to sleep as you defend our borders, as you lead our generals and our defense forces in protecting the lives and property of our nation and our people. I want to wish you all the best, Honorable Duale, and know that in us you have a friend, you have friends here in this house. We will remember you. We are not bidding you farewell because you are just crossing the street to the defense headquarters out of this house, but you're always welcome to this house. We welcome you as our Leader of Majority Emeritus. And Honorable Speaker, I cut short my story on his prayers for my family and myself. Today, I thank God that having gone through what we went through with Honorable Duale and many of us who are in Kenya Kwanza, Honorable Speaker, we stand here alive, our family is well, and we thank God for that. And I want to thank Honorable Duale for the encouragement and the courage he gave me continuously. And he would always tell me, as a Muslim, fear nothing other than God. Through Honorable Duale, I almost became a Muslim, at least in having the courage and determination to remain focused on what we were looking for. And I thank God that we were able to achieve that. And I thank God immensely that we got government, and the Honorable Duale now transitions from the legislature to the executive. And I want to pray that, Honorable Duale, God will guide you and will give you the wisdom to serve our nation in the executive with the determination, with the zeal and energy that you served with in this house as Leader of Majority, and more so as a Member of Parliament for Garissa Township, and earlier as Member of Parliament for Dugis. We will emulate and follow your steps. We will learn on the best from you. And I want to pray that even our new members of Parliament will be able to.
The Honorable Wandai.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And let me join my colleagues in first and foremost congratulating the Honorable Aden Duale on his achievement as an appointee of the President to the position of Cabinet Secretary. Honorable Duale has had a checkered career as a legislator. And if there's one thing we all agree on, even those of us who are on the opposite side with him previously, Aden Duale was a man whom, when you gave a task, he gave his all to it. And many people would refer to him as a workaholic. He did his research well, and he was ever prepared on the floor of this house. No wonder when he appeared before us at the Committee on Appointments, he didn't disappoint. You know, amongst the nominees who came before us, he was one of the few whom I never gave much problems. But that is because of who he is. Mr. Speaker, there's also a record that Honorable Duale has set. You know, Honorable Duale came to this house a term before me. This is his fourth term, and I'm serving my third term. Honorable Duale was able to be elected for a record 4 times consecutively and on different parties. First time he came here, he came on the ODM ticket. The second time he came in 2013, he came under URP, if I remember. Then 2017, he came on the ticket of Jubilee Party. Now this time around, he came on the ticket of UDA. So that's a record that I don't think many of us will ever break. Okay? It goes a long way to demonstrate the fact that his people had confidence in him, regardless of the parties he ran on. Finally, Honorable Speaker, we wish to encourage Honorable Duale as he transits to the executive to continue with the spirit of engagement so that the difference between the executive and the legislature can continuously be narrowed for the good of the country and of our people. Thank you very much, and may God bless.
The Honorable Wangwe.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow me also to congratulate my very good friend, Senior Honorable Aden Duale. Honorable Speaker, I appreciate the opportunity Honorable Duale has gotten, and he deserves the opportunity, Honorable Speaker. I want to speak, Honorable Speaker, for the last parliament, where I served as the last bit of the term as the whip. Honorable Duale gave me lots of information, Honorable Speaker, in terms of guidance, in terms of how to lead the House. Honorable Duale told me, Honorable Speaker, that the only instruments you need into this House are two. One, the Constitution of Kenya, and two, the Standing Order Book. He actually taught me that with those two instruments, you'll be able to speak within and without fear or favor. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, as I stand here, I'm serving the third term, and Honorable Duale, I owe you gratitude as you exit this House. You are such a wonderful colleague. I'll miss this House. But Honorable Speaker, Honorable Duale had only one major issue, which was very giving him total advantage, the mastering of the processes of this House. He would not allow you to speak when you're outside the processes and procedures of this House. Therefore, Honorable Speaker, for the leadership that is there today, let us guide others. Let us be those who can mentor the young colleagues who have joined this House so that we come up with stronger legislators in future. Honorable Speaker, by virtue of the mastering of the two instruments which Honorable Duale gave to me, you can only compare Honorable Duale to the late Martin Shikuku, Honorable Speaker. There is no way you could want to see, Honorable Duale would see you speak outside the two. Finally, Honorable Speaker, in terms of guiding the leadership of the House, Honorable Duale, I wish to thank you that through you, you are able to show me how to assign colleagues without fear, without favor, and you made sure, Honorable Speaker, that Honorable Duale could guide in terms of placement of those colleagues in their various committees. As we, without really anticipating debate of the future placements, those who will be coming forth, let us follow suit on how Honorable Duale led the rest. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I wish you well, Honorable Duale, as you go to the executive. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
The Honorable Murugara.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. If you allow me also to join the rest of the House in congratulating the Honorable Duale. This is not a mini feat. Honorable Duale, you deserved it and you've gotten it. The little we can say is just go well and extend the service you gave to this House to the executive. When we came in here as freshers in 2017, Honorable Duale was our leader of majority, and he made this House extremely interesting. It is important to reckon that he has trained Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa, who has taken over per se from him, because the notes Honorable Duale prepared are the notes we want Honorable Kimani Ichung'wa to follow. Because in between, there was an interlude when we had our own difficulties and things were not moving well, but Honorable Duale, as a ranking member of this House, sat through with us. He never abandoned us. He actually encouraged us to soldier on and do what is right for the Republic of Kenya. It is as a result of this good work that God has rewarded him with this position of a cabinet minister and let him go well. Our regards to your colleagues when you reach there. When we met at the Committee of Appointments, you did very well. Your colleagues, the Honorable Musalia Mudavadi, who slightly competed on the power of the gap with the Honorable Speaker of the National Assembly, because he also did very well and spoke very well. My constituent, Honorable Kithure Kindiki, Professor, also did very well. Not to forget all the others. My schoolmate, the Honorable Simon Chelugui, also did very well. And all of them, congratulate them, tell them we wish them well, and we thank His Excellency the President for extending this magnanimous decision to you and to the others, so that you can serve as well, you can serve the Republic well, and we promise we will actually follow your footsteps in ensuring that this House remains as interesting as it was that time, because we have actually one of the best speakers, one of the best majority leader, and deputy speaker, and the others. We ourselves also speak for ourselves. It will be a good house. Let the freshers be actually excited about the house, because it will be good. Go well, sir. Thank you very much.
The Honorable Alice Wahome, I can give you time to bid farewell to the House so that the interventions that are very limited can cover both of you and the Honorable Duale. If you can be able to spend 5 minutes, I'll be very happy. There is a microphone next to you.
Thank you. I will agree your direction, Mr. Speaker. Maybe 10 minutes.
Go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I've just come from my constituency, Mr. Speaker, to also see whether I can be able to say bye-bye and do some of my last activities with the constituents, seeking their approval, Mr. Speaker. I am told, Mr. Speaker, this House may or has approved my nomination as a cabinet secretary. And Mr. Speaker, I take this opportunity to thank my colleagues extremely so, and I am grateful for the approval, for consideration, favorable consideration from all members across the board, across the aisle. Mr. Speaker, I love this job. I will miss my job as a member of parliament. And therefore, it is not surprising that I was in the constituency when Mr. Clerk, one of the clerks of this House, told me, remember you are coming here. Mr. Speaker, I know that this 13th Parliament is just starting. While I exit this Parliament, I'm truly grateful to the people of Kandara constituency for finding it fit to give me 3 terms, which then the 3rd term, Mr. Speaker, I may have to surrender, or I will be surrendering back for purposes of by-election. Mr. Speaker, it is an unusual achievement for a woman to be elected for 3 terms. I therefore would like to commend women members of parliament who have been able to be elected even their first terms, Mr. Speaker, and I hope that I can be able to retain and continue serving constituencies in those capacities. Also, Mr. Speaker, that we're looking forward as women, and I have served and have grown. I have trained through the women movement, Mr. Speaker. It would be right and fair and proper for me to speak a bit about that I am very proud of the women movement in this country, and I know it is fairly down around this time, and whatever we can do as women leaders, we need to support the women movement that has grown, some of us. And therefore, I also look forward to seeing more women in this parliament, even as I exit. The numbers are not sufficient. 29 women from constituencies are not sufficient, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, it is also, and I say that from the constituencies, I am aware, and I really have a lot of respect also for the 47 county women members of parliament. They need more space. They need more funding through affirmative action. Their fund, Mr. Speaker, even as the CDF NGCDF seems to be under threat. I think those particular funds Mr. Speaker, should be continued. I have tremendous respect for the institution of Parliament, and I will continue to support the institution of Parliament, Mr. Speaker, even while outside, and I would not join people who would not find it proper to continue to support Parliament. I know and I think that Parliament has many times lost good opportunities to stamp its authority, to be able to check the executive, and as I join the executive, I would still expect that Parliament will continue to do its work, Mr. Speaker, that Parliament will continue to put the executive in check so that then we can be able to deliver on the promises, on the plan that our government has talked about. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I'm speaking so knowing that there is a place for the Parliament in our Constitution. In terms of governance, Parliament must continue to be supported. Members of Parliament must continue to be facilitated to be able to execute their mandate, their representative mandate. I therefore want to acknowledge my colleagues both in minority and majority, and that this particular time I have stayed in Parliament, I have enjoyed cordial relationship with most of members in the 12th Parliament, and I look forward, Mr. Speaker, to be able to work. I look forward for support in my docket, and I had said earlier, my office will be open to everybody, even those who are in the minority, because they are serving constitutional offices. And the office of the Cabinet Secretary is an office in the public service. And therefore, I want to assure you, members of the National Assembly, you are welcome for a cup of tea, for a discussion about water, for a discussion about how you can give me more money to be able to reach your constituencies. I look forward to that kind of relationship. Mr. Speaker, I want to thank, as I finish, I want to thank His Excellency the President, Dr. William Samoei Ruto, for finding it fit to give me this particular job among all those other qualified in equal measure in our coalition, Mr. Speaker, in the country as well. Mr. Speaker, I am truly grateful to His Excellency the President nominating a woman, and not just a woman, the Iron Lady of Muranga, the Iron Lady of Kandara. I am seeing that there are other Iron Ladies coming up, and I want to encourage my sisters. The job be staff. Mr. Speaker, the names women have been called, it should stop. You know, the country must embrace, appreciate women as leaders in equal size, in equal weight, in equal intelligence, so that we can now have treatment of people within the law, under the law, in our society as equal human beings. Mr. Speaker, we must also remember it is looking like the boy child is said to be under threat. Although there are no statistics, Mr. Speaker, we must remember that we must bring a society that is balanced in both gender, and therefore more women. Esther Passaris, more women. Next time we want to hear you are the governor of Nairobi in this country, because it is a powerful position. Mr. Speaker, I think I have taken my 15 minutes. I'm most grateful, and I appreciate the support that my nomination received from this Parliament. I do not take it for granted. You had the opportunity and the privilege to reject, but you did not reject. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, my colleagues. Thank you very much.
Thank you, the Honorable Alice Wamshomba.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I rise to congratulate my seniors, the wonderful gentleman and the wonderful lady who have been honored to serve the great country of Kenya in their respective capacities. I'm very, very humbled to say thank you, and a big thank you to Honorable Aden Bare Duale for having given us the opportunity to serve with him. He was our senior. He served as our majority leader in the 12th Parliament. And that parliament was particularly very, very hot, especially when we debated on gender bill. I remember the famous Duale bill. I remember the tussles and the smiles and the fights in this house as we struggled to pass the bill. Even if we never achieved the milestone that we expected through Duale bill, I am very, very excited to register as a woman leader in this country and the current chair of KEWOPA, that we have had a positive milestone out of the serious debates and engagements that we had as we debated the famous Duale bill. Honorable Duale, we met with you in many quarters. We negotiated and haggled out the position and the placement of women in this house. You listened to us and you gave us your natural smile. We thank you. How I hope and pray that the Honorable Duale, when you go there to serve as our Cabinet Secretary in charge of defense, we shall see so many women around you. 2-star general, 3-star general, and so on and so forth. We want to see many women serving in the Navy. We want to see many women serving in the Army. We want to see many in the field marching beautifully like they have always done. I am proud of you, Honorable Duale. To my sister, the Iron Lady of Muranga, we are so proud of you, my senior sister. Personally, I started a journey with you even before I became a member of parliament, and also for you, before you became a member of parliament. You have been our counsel, you have been our support. We have seen you struggle and fight for what you believe in. You have believed in the hustler movement and the hustler nation. How I pray and hope that you will be one of those that are going to defend for the rights of women to get water, access to every right that is associated with water. And more specifically, Madam Alice, through the Speaker, I hope that you shall be the Cabinet Secretary that shall finally ensure that our counties get their share of water from the traditional dams that have been existing in some of our areas, yet we do not have water. More specifically, I speak on behalf of Githunguri sub-county, the one that I do represent. We are the wetland.
The Honorable Elachi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I also join my colleagues to congratulate our leader, the Honorable Aden Duale.
There's a lot of interest. I encourage you to take 2 minutes.
And my leader, the Honorable Alice Wahome. Honorable Aden Duale, I want to thank you for working together when I was the majority whip in Senate, and you encouraged us on one thing, that you must be brave enough to stand for government. Even at times when things are not so good, you stand for your government. And for showing us faith. I remember you told us with the late Joyce Laboso and Ses Barire that when the Honorable William Ruto becomes president, you will resign as member of parliament. I salute you on that faith and in that wisdom. And we agreed anyway. For my Honorable Alice Wahome, I want to thank you. You gave me a job as a CEO in this country. I never took it for granted. We worked in Kandara, and I know you're going to do a fantastic job in the Ministry of Water. And we will pray for you all. You need wisdom, and we pray that God will guide you. And I want to also thank the Honorable Kithure Kindiki and Murkomen, people we served together, and I know they're going to do a tremendous job for this government. So thank you so much as you go, and we pray that you'll find a good civil servants who will understand and work with you and not sabotage the work that you want to do. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
John Badi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as I congratulate my friend Aden Bare Duale, let me start with him. I want to just say that many people have not understood the relationship I've had with Duale. Almost all the time, apart from the time we came in as first-term MPs, we have been on opposite sides of the political divide. But our friendship has flourished, and many people have not understood this. But I want to just mention a few things. Number one, Duale and I, even though he is 6 years older than me, but politically we are age mates. We came in the same day in Parliament, and it did not take us 1 year before we became friends. And we have maintained our friendship up to this level. The only thing is that all the time when Duale's political star is rising, mine seems to be going down a bit. And anytime my political star is rising, his goes down. I remember in the 10th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, when he was assistant minister, I was a backbencher. When I became assistant minister, he became a backbencher. When Jubilee won elections in 2013, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Duale was made the majority leader. I remember that time, literally my documents were thrown out of my office, of the office of the assistant minister in the office of the prime minister. And now when the handshake came, I thought we were now going to work together, him as the majority leader and myself as the minority leader. Again, it did not take long before Duale's star started going down, and mine had risen. Now he's becoming a cabinet secretary when I thought I was going to be the cabinet secretary and he was going to remain and stay in this house. Mr. Speaker, what a coincidence that now I've approved him as a cabinet secretary. Maybe tomorrow in 2027, I don't know, when I am likely to have a rising political star, maybe Duale, this time I want to pray for you, not really to remain where you are or even go higher. But, Mr. Speaker, we have had a good working relationship. Duale has a work ethic that is admirable. And I want to say, Honorable Duale, that continue with your consultative nature of leadership. I worked with you as majority leader, worked with Kimunya as majority leader. You are better than Kimunya in terms of consultation. And that I can say without any fear or favor. To Honorable Alice Wahome, we never interacted really too closely with her. But we have been members of parliament together, and I have no doubt that you are going to make sure that the people of Kenya get access to water. You have been principled, continue that way, and as you put it, you are going to be a cabinet secretary for the Republic of Kenya. Thank you very much. I wish you all well, including those of our colleagues who are not in this house, like Murkomen. Soipan, that's another very strong lady, Mr. Speaker. Let's not forget her. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My time is up, and I thank you and congratulate all the nominees who have gone through the approval.
Tim Wanyonyi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me a chance also to say something about the Honorable Duale and Honorable Alice. Honorable Duale, I think when he was leader of majority, he served with distinction, Mr. Speaker. And even when he was removed from being the leader of majority, he honorably handed over to Honorable Kimunya. He did not throw tantrums, he did not do anything. And that shows the show of greatness in him. As a leader, he was humble enough just to move back where he's seated now and handed over to Honorable Kimunya to sit in front. When in the 11th Parliament, Mr. Speaker, Honorable Duale and Honorable Nyense and Honorable Midio, the late Midio, they distributed committees to members very fairly. Nobody complained, and all of us served at least in one or two committees, two or more committees. But in the 12th Parliament, it was disastrous because those the leadership of that time, Mr. Speaker, awarded themselves positions and denied us chances to serve in committees. Honorable Alice, we have served with her in two committees, in the Administration Committee and Delegated Legislation Committee. She's a great member. I know she'll be a great minister. We wish you well, Honorable Alice, in your next assignment. We hope your doors will remain open for us to come and also still work with you in your new assignment. God bless you. Asante sana.
Come, Kate.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for this opportunity. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable Aden Duale is a gentleman that can be described as the legislator par excellence, or the ultimate legislator. When I came to this parliament, Mr. Speaker, he used the same terms that he was giving us a little bit earlier to advise me. He pulled me aside and told me to be very careful with my constituents, and I did follow his advice very carefully. That's why I'm here for my second term. I remain forever grateful to him. As the patron of Pastoralist Parliamentary Group, we benefited a lot as pastoralists from his leadership. Mr. Speaker, sir, and now as Defense Cabinet Secretary, I want to urge Honorable Duale to think outside the box. Do not do things as have been done ever since independence. We have youth in this country, like those who come from my constituency, who are engaged in cat wrestling, and other constituencies neighboring. I urge you, Honorable Duale, to think outside the box and think of creating a special regiment that will be our fighters to defend our borders, instead of demonizing those Kenyans who have not been so lucky. Alice Wahome, Mr. Speaker, was a member of my committee when I was chairman, Committee on Delegated Legislation, and I am grateful for working with her. And I want to tell Alice Wahome this as I sit down, Mr. Speaker, that water everywhere will reduce conflict among the warring communities in the north. Congratulations.
Adan Kainan.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, with nostalgia, Mr. Speaker, I remember the Honorable Duale during our days at Moi University. Mr. Speaker, for those of you who have interacted with Duale, the politician, Duale the politician, Duale the student have always been the same. For those who have gone to Moi University, if you go to Ngeria College, Ngeria section, and you ask for the cottage where we used to occupy, you'll be told this particular street used to be Kainan Duale Street. Mr. Speaker, I pride myself as being the first member to be elected to a public office from the alumni of Moi University. Duale has always been courageous. In our politics, Mr. Speaker, there are test to politicians and they are self-made politicians. Duale is indeed a self-made politician, Mr. Speaker. On behalf of the NEP parliamentary group, he has been our chairman. I hope you will accept to be our patron right now because you can't be a chair. He has also been the patron of our PPG, the Pastoralist Parliamentary Group. I hope you will continue to accept this. Mr. Speaker, I also want to thank His Excellency the President because in northern Kenya, Mr. Speaker, the military plays a very important role. And I hope, Mr. Duale, in that key institution, you will encourage both military diplomacy and parliamentary diplomacy because you now transiting from the first arm of government, which is the legislature, to the second arm of government, which is the executive. I am sure you have a lot to share and you'll be the best role model for your colleagues. I know there are others from the Moi University alumni like the Honorable Kindiki Gure and many others. I believe with your intelligence, with your experience, you will emerge as the best CS in the Republic of Kenya. And that particular docket, I have been the chairman of Defense and Foreign Relations. I midwife the military actor right now. I understand that particular docket. We wish you well, and I hope those uniformed officers
Time up. Time up.
1 minute.
Give him 1 minute.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Interestingly, the docket that you have been appointed is a very important docket to the people of Northern Kenya, and in particular to the pastoralists. We want you to be seen as the best go-getter in the provision of water to our struggling pastoralist society. We wish you well, we'll work with you, and I hope both of you being members of parliament, when you go, you will prove the tenet that politicians are the best public managers. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Wow. The County Women Rep Kirinyaga.
Mr. Speaker, it was really hard for Baba to climb the mountain, but it seems even harder for new members to address this House. To the Honorable Aden Duale, congratulations, and to Alice, who I looked up to when I was a young girl who was interested in politics. Alice came this year in my county to solve an issue that had arisen out of the nominations. And I remember her telling me that she did not need to know me. She just needed to do her job. And her job was to ensure that the rightful winner had been declared. So Alice, you're setting the pace for young women like me and the others who are in this parliament in politics. We look forward to you delivering for the people of this nation. I know that oftentimes women are judged collectively. So remember that the standards you set are very important for the rest of us waiting in line. I want to donate the rest of my time to the new members who have not addressed this House yet. Thank you.
You have no time to donate it. So I'll give now to the Honorable Kadambi.
Mr. Speaker.
After Kadambi, I'll give Tutu, then we close.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Speaker, let me start by thanking you for giving me this opportunity. I also want to thank God for this day when we are congratulating our great people who we have known in the different capacities. Honorable Duale, you are a mentor to some of us. You encouraged us. You have fought for us as women. I cannot forget an issue recently when we went through nominations of UDA and we won all the members of parliament, Gilgil, Naivasha, and myself. And Mr. Speaker, we had a lot of challenge through the men who had defeated. Honorable Duale, I cannot forget the day you just encouraged us and you said, well, you cannot accept impunity against women. Honorable Alice Wahome, thank you so much. You are our big sister who has brought us together. We cannot forget the journey when you united all the women in the Senate and the National Assembly, purposely to make sure that we were doing something in our respective constituencies and counties. Therefore, our blessings today to all of you, and I know you have taken a very sensitive docket in this country. Honorable Alice Wahome, at least I'm so much excited. You are now the CS for water. The water is a big threat in this country. Our children, our women have really suffered. The pastoralists right now, they are suffering. We are all suffering in this country in relation with water and other docket. I also want to congratulate every CS and say great thank you to His Excellency the President for giving us the best combination of the CSs.
The Honorable Atandi.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. Honorable Speaker, there is no doubt that this Parliament has released some of the best to the cabinet, to the executive. And Honorable Speaker, Honorable Duale, when we joined the 12th Parliament, was one leader who easily mixed with us and would have breakfast with us in the morning, every morning, and would educate us and teach us about how to operate in this house and in politics. And Honorable Duale is somebody who raised the profile of this house. When Duale was the majority leader in this house, Parliament was respected. And members of the executive came here limping. They respected and they feared this house. And I think I want to thank him for that. And also for his dedication in the service. When I sat in the finance committee and we were going through finance bill, Duale would take time to come and discuss with us the details of the finance bill, despite the fact that he was not a member of that committee. I want to congratulate him for this feat, and I know that he's going to perform. Honorable Speaker, this country has the best investments in military hardware and software. Every year, we appropriate resources to hire and to recruit military personnel. But, Honorable Speaker, this country is also one of the most disrespected. I want to urge Duale that as you take up this position, please ensure that this country is respected. I think it is time Kenya went to war so that our neighbors can respect us.
And I know Duale, as a bold leader, is going to ensure that this country is respected. We don't want to see Uganda still harassing our people in Migingo when Duale is the Minister for Defense. Honorable Speaker, Alice Wahome is a bold leader. If you look at the positions Alice Wahome took during the last regime, then you know that.
Member for Tarbo. I'll give you.
Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to also congratulate all the members that were appointed as CSS that we have approved today in this House. I want particularly to congratulate Honorable Duale for being appointed as CS, and I want to say he has done a sterling job in this House. I still remember my lowest moment when we were at KICC and Honorable Duale was being removed. I remember sitting behind there and looking at former president and asking myself, does the president know who he is losing? The person who fights for government like it is his own property. Honorable Duale, I wish you the best in your new appointment. Honorable Alice Wahome, you are the pillar of the women in this House. You led the Inua Mama and you made us what we are today. You steered Kenya Kwanza through the Inua Mama brigade, and we went far to raise the bar for the Kenya Kwanza people. Congratulations and wish you well in your new appointment as the CS for water. We know as members of this House that we shall benefit because you will have an ear for each one of us. Thank you so much, and may God bless all of you. Thank you. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for giving me that chance.
Member for Mwingi Central.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. You know, I want to start by congratulating our fellow colleagues who have succeeded to join the executive. And I want to start with Honorable Duale. You know, Honorable Duale, if he does not speak in this house, there is no house that day. That is the way I've known him. And I call him my neighbor. So my neighbor, when you go up there, remember us. You know the conflict we have down there. Please help us. Alice Wahome, we were in the same committee with you in delegated, and I know your capacity. I congratulate you. And you know, when you walk out there, the climate is so harsh because of climate change. And that is your docket. So when you go out there, remember us, especially us, our areas, and Ukambani, we are in their need of water and irrigation. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable members, there's still tremendous interest in this matter, but I want to advise that we finish this at 4, so we have 20 minutes, and I reduce the time to 1.5 minutes. I'll give the women rep for Mombasa.
Asante sana Bwana Spika. Niweze kumpongeza ndugu yangu kipenzi Mheshimiwa Honorable Duale. Pongezi sana. Manake ikija kwetu lazima tutasikia raha. Na nina imani kuwa mipaka yetu itakuwa salama kwa mikono yako. Nina imani kuwa wanajeshi wetu watasikia raha kwa mikono yako. Nina imani ulinzi utaimarika katika taifa hili. Kwa dada yangu kipenzi Alice Wahome, maji ni donda sugu katika taifa hili. Tumeona ndugu zetu wa North Eastern wakilia, Nina imani kama mama, wale wanaokufa kwa njaa, minyama inayokufa kule, utaweka vizingiti na kuweka sawa maji yaenee sehemu ile, ili Kenya iwe inaweza kuwa kibichi sehemu zote za Kenya ambazo ni kavu. Nawashukuru sana na naombea dua. Ndugu yangu Duale, shika kazi, shika kasi. Nitabisha mlango wako hivi karibuni. Asante sana Bwana Spika, kwa niaba ya Mombasa nawaambia kongole nyote.
Member for Kamkunji. Give him the microphone.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for the opportunity. Let me start by congratulating my brother and friend Duale, Aden Bare Duale, for his appointment. It is a big loss for our house. I never thought I would be the one to say farewell to him in the National Assembly. I know him as a consummate, passionate, intense politician. I kept on telling him that, in fact, for me, politics is just one part of my life. But for him, politics is in blood. It is in his blood. He sleeps politics. He wakes up politics. And I think, for sure, there has never been a better majority leader in this House than him. So it's quite a big loss. I wish him well in his new appointment. I also want to say that, in fact, he has played an important part in my own political life. In 2011, he was ahead of me several months. There was a by-election in Kamkunji. I wasn't really very keen in standing at that particular moment, and I got a call from my brother, Duale, and our current president, William Ruto. I went to see them at a Transnational Bank building, and they convinced me that I should stand in Kamkunji. And to a certain extent, I accepted that challenge, leaving my UN job to come and run in Kamkunji. So I want to thank him for his support and for his continuous support to me, and I want to wish him as the new Minister of Defense. I also want to wish my sister Alice, the lioness from Kandara. I want to wish you very well in your new appointment. You are a formidable woman. You are a very good parliamentarian. And I always had admired you because you really raised the name of Bildad Kagia, the first member of parliament for Kandara.
Thank you. Member for Embakasi. Is it North?
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. May I also take this opportunity to congratulate my brother Aden Duale for having appointed to represent the nation as far as the security of this country and the KDF in general is concerned. I am aware that he is very able and he will represent the country at his capacity very well. On my sister, Alice Wahome. Wahome is my neighbor at home, and you know very well, I really congratulate your appointment to water, because water is life, and you know very well that Nairobi, we really need extraordinary cubics of water as we are moving to high-rise, as the agenda of the president is housing, so I am sure that you'll be able to take care of that. And also do not forget that we don't have enough for irrigating back home. Thank you very much, both of you. I wish you all well.
Member Wambilianga.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, for this golden chance to congratulate my seniors and my colleagues at the same time. I first want to begin by congratulating you as having been elected Speaker of this House. On behalf of the people of Bungoma, I want to thank all the members in this House to have elected my Speaker. I next want to congratulate the Honorable Duale. Duale has been our role model for most of us, especially in the 12th Parliament. Actually, all I would say, Honorable Duale, you are the best majority leader I ever witnessed. And I hope Honorable Ishungwa will just take up the role, and I know is equal to the task. To my sister, Alice Wahome, you are our role model. You made us, especially the times when we struggled to begin Kenya Kwanza. The times when you began Inua Mama as the chairperson. You led as well. I remember the last time when you came to Webuye for our Inua Mama project, you made the women of Bungoma proud. You introduced MECO. And up to today, the women remember you for that. The women remember you in your speech. And it's like you read ahead. It's like you knew you will be Minister for Water. Stand up to that task, and I know you will deliver as a woman. I also want to congratulate the other ladies who were nominated in the cabinets, different cabinet secretary positions, including my own sister, and I know you will lead her. You will help her perform. The Honorable Nahomicha, that's a girl that will look unto you to also role model her. Finally, I congratulate every member who was elected who was nominated, and we also made them, using this house, we made them pass as cabinet secretaries, including my sister, whom everybody knew was not.
Time up. Women Rep Nairobi.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker, for giving me this opportunity to contribute. Adan Duale, I want to say that you will be truly missed. You mentored me through my first term in Parliament. You opened your office for me to get notes from your secretary so that I could improve my contributions. You created a lot of humor with me coming with my thermos and my backpack. But all in all, you stood for forgiveness. I remember there's a time you and I had a bit of a tiff, and then you actually met me in court and you said, Esther, I ask you if I did something wrong, sorry. You have a lot of humility in you, and I really pray that God continues to favor you. I also want to request for the youth of this country, can we make some kind of mandatory military training, which I think other countries do it, and the youth get disciplined, and they do so much more better for their country. Alice Wahome, my sister, my mentor, my mother, I am so proud of you, and I'm so happy that you've got this docket. I just want you to know that there's a study that has been done by KWSNet, which shows that women are trading their bodies for water. So we have a big crisis. Water can be from our taps, healthy and clean for us to drink. We shouldn't have to buy water. So I really wish you well. And I want to say, Honorable Duale said that he ran 4 times from 4 different parties. Honorable Alice Wahome just wished me well in my future. Let us not think of party politics all the time. It's time for us to unite for the good of this country. Let us stand together, let us work together. Let us serve the people who are in dire need. And I know that Kenya will be better because we chose to unite for the good of this country. We don't always have to oppose each other. Politics is over. It's time to work and serve Kenyans. I wish Aisha Juma, Soipan, all the women that have been elected, including Penina. I was very disturbed when a man who does not have menstruals decided to actually say.
The Honorable Kiaria.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. This is a bittersweet bye-bye to the honorable members who are leaving this house, but we are comforted knowing that they are actually being upwardly displaced. To the Honorable Wahome, I know the blood of Bildad Kagia runs in her veins, but I would want to implore on her to more emulate the Honorable Wangari Maathai. There must be a reason why we are able to pipe oil all the way from Mombasa, and this oil is able to be distributed around the entire country. We should be able to distribute water from the aquifers in Turkana, from the water towers in the Rift Valley and Central to every part of Kenya. To the Honorable Duale, you are amazing. You might be remembered for the great speeches in this house. You might be remembered for the great book you're just about to release, The Room Where It Happened. We are looking forward to hear the secrets in the high rooms where things were happening. You might be remembered as the first leader, because even now they call you leader, even when you are a ranking member. But I personally will remember you for one piece of advice. You say to me, even at the toughest time, even with all my duties, I have made sure that in my time in Parliament, I always am home by the time when my children are doing homework. I took that up when I was a young member, and I made sure that regardless of whatever the politics is going to throw at me every day, I am at home to do homework with my children. Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker, for giving me this opportunity. I congratulate all members of parliament who have been nominated, and remember that this is the house that passed your nomination. Don't lock the doors on us. Thank you very much.
Women Rep Muranga.
Mr. Speaker, I raise to congratulate Honorable Alice Wahome. I'm so proud to hear everybody refer her as a sister. To me, being the mama county for Muranga County, I want to refer her as a daughter. In social stratification, it is a wish of every parent to see the daughters and the sons outgrow their status. I'm so proud of you, Honorable Alice Wahome. I know you'll accelerate the access of clean water for all and help us to manage the wastewater. I also wish to congratulate Honorable Aden Duale in his new role. Mr. Speaker, the Muranga County women are so proud for a beautiful, brilliant cabinet secretary. Asante.
Member for Mandera North.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. And first and foremost, I want to formally congratulate Honorable Aden Duale, Honorable Alice Wahome, for initial nomination and the approval of this morning, and all the other members who have been in this House, both in the Senate and National Assembly. Honorable Duale, you have done your job, you have done a good work. I call you Majority Leader Emeritus because you are the first Majority Leader under the new Constitution, and you served us very, very well. And I'm sure the current Majority Leader will find actually your shoes too big, but I'm sure he will try. Honorable Duale, the people of Garissa have elected you 4 terms, and I'm sure they will miss you. But please ensure that you still continue serving them, as well as the entire Republic of Kenya. To the people of Garissa County, Garissa Township, please ensure that you bring somebody capable who can fit into the shoes of Aden Bare Duale. As our patron of the Pastors Parliamentary Group, I wish you well as you proceed to your new docket. Honorable Alice Wahome, congratulations as well. You have done your bit. You have served the people of the county and the constituency. Now you are going to serve in a bigger capacity. They call you the Iron Lady. I want to see the ironness in you in terms of water delivery. Remember, many parts of this country, and especially the pastoralist counties, are still lacking water. And please make it a priority that the people of Kenya, and more so the pastoralist counties, receive this precious gold in the name of water. We wish you well, and as you go and undertake your duties, remember this house and accommodate each and every one of us. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Mr. Speaker. I want to congratulate the Honorable Aden Duale. You are an inspiration to many of us, young leaders. I've been in your constituency when I was serving in the Ministry of Devolution and Assaults, and I can be able to attest that indeed you've done great to your people of Garissa. Thank you so much. May God bless you as you build on what your successors have, what your predecessors have done, as you emerge the best leader. For Madam Alice Wahome, this country needs water a lot. I just pray to God that He gives you all that it takes, so that at the end of your term at the ministry, we are able to have water everywhere in this country. I admire you because normally men frustrate women, but I admire you because of an incident that involved the IEBC where some men tried to frustrate you and you said no. Thank you so much, and God bless both of you. And even for other members who are not members of this house, in my mind, the Honorable Susan, who is also my kinsmate, that may God bless you all as you serve the people of Kenya. Thank you so much.
The Honorable Member for Garissa. Women Rep Garissa.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I am Honorable Duale's Women Rep, and on behalf of Garissa County, we would like to thank the President, His Excellency President Ruto, the appointing committees, and this House Mr. Speaker, Honorable Duale is loved, and the people of Garissa are sad, especially township, because we think that no one will fit his shoes. But hopefully, I'm among the people who he molded and took and brought it to the politics. I'm here because of his mentorship, and I'm sad that he's leaving, but happy that he is climbing the ladder as his women rep. I would like to thank this House, and we will slaughter some camels on behalf of Honorable to celebrate this achievement. Thank you very much. Honorable Wahome, as a woman, a young woman who is new to this parliament, I'm motivated, and I know one day we will all climb that ladder and to be great women like you. Where I come from, in the deserts, it's very hard for a woman to be here where we are today. And thanks to Honorable Duale, some of us are here. And with this motivation that a fellow woman will be up in the ladder and be serving this great nation, we thank this nation and the people who help the women to climb such height in politics. Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. As my MP, Township MP goes, I will say thank you. My time is up. Thank you very much.
Member for Mbere South. Is it Mbere North? Anaruku.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to congratulate Honorable Aden Duale for the great leadership he has shown over the years. We started with Honorable Duale when we were members of URP, United Republican Party. That is almost 10 years ago. And he has mentored many, many people who are in this house, me one of them. And I say, Mheshimiwa Duale, please, when you serve as the Minister of Defense, this country look forward to your leadership, to your, the strategies that you are going to implement as far as security of this nation is, security and defense of this nation is concerned. And as a student of international relations, I know we are in a region where defense is seriously in need. We know we are in DRC, we can be in South Sudan and many other nations. We know we are getting some threat from the Republic of Uganda, and I know you're up to task as far as issues of defense are concerned. To my sister, Aris Wahome, who is now the Minister of Water, where I come from, Mbere North, there is a dam which we have been singing from 2016, Kamumu Dam, Kamumu Dam. Madam Minister, please, as you sit as a Minister of Water, remember the people of Mbere North, they need water. To my party leader, Justin Muturi Bidan, the Attorney General of the Republic of Kenya, I say congratulations for the unanimous support and approval by the House.
Time up. Honorable members, I know we all want to congratulate our two colleagues. Those who have spoken for us, we associate with what you have said. And on behalf of those who have not spoken, we want to congratulate the Honorable Duale, the Honorable Alice Wahome, and all other parliamentarians from the sister house who have been nominated to cabinet and approved by this house, and indeed all those members of the cabinet that you approved today to go and serve the government of our republic. We wish them well. We hope they will take a non-partisan approach in the service to the people of Kenya and serve all Kenyans without fear, favor, or prejudice, and may God give them the wisdom to do so. I want us to end here and go to the next order.